Hello friends, so it's kinda hard for me to imagine nowadays, but back in the day, I wanted to be an economist. I even studied it in college. The problem with that plan was that I wasn't a very good student, and at least in my economics classes, I definitely didn't get the best grades. Perhaps the most important lesson I learned in those classes is that economics is actually pretty complicated. At least for me it was. And for a while, I couldn't figure out why it was so difficult for me. I found the topic fascinating, and worked hard on my assignments, so why was all the material seemingly just going right over my head? Anyway, due to my poor grades in my economics classes, I eventually decided to embark on a new career in a completely new field, and for many years I wondered what exactly it was about economics that made it so difficult for me to study, and it wasn't until very recently, when I discovered the etymology of the word, that I finally learned the answer. What I learned is that the words economy and economics are both descended from ancient Greek, and specifically the ancient Greek noun oikos, which meant house, and the verb nemo, which meant to distribute or to allocate. Nemo is the ancestor of the modern German verb nehmen, and the English adjective numb, and that meaning numb makes sense when you think of numb in the sense of taken or dazed. Now, the first part of the word, economy, oikos, was the center of ancient Greek society, and designated a dwelling place, or basically the Greek concept of home. It has descendants in many languages, as you can see in the chart, but is also, as you might imagine, the source of the word ecology, which of course, nowadays, refers to the study of organisms and the environment, but in one sense, the house and the humans within it are all living in a basic environment. So with that in mind, the oikos in ecology likewise makes sense. And so of course, nowadays, although the study of economics can be either macro or micro, originally, economics was, to say the least, definitely micro, and based on properly allocating and distributing the resources within a house, the most basic unit of a community. Anyway, how does any of that explain what's so hopelessly bad at economics? Well, as we just learned, etymologically, economics is all about the management of one's household. Now I admit that, when I do these videos, I try to look at least minimally presentable, but in case I was actually able to fool anyone, I'm actually kinda disorganized. Fortunately, the camera doesn't show the floor of my room, which is, quite frankly, a little bit of a mess, just like the rest of my house. I can't seem to keep my house in order. In fact, as you probably noticed, I can't even keep my hair or my beard under control. So really, is it that surprising that, given the etymology of economics, I'm not a natural-born economist? No, it was never meant to be, and that's fine. I'll leave the study of economics to those who are good with numbers and quantitative analysis, and to those who are able to keep their domestic affairs in order. And instead, I'll just keep making etymology videos. That way we can hopefully both be productive and focus on our competitive advantage, so to speak. And for starters, I think I'll clean my room, and also probably buy a comb. Thanks for watching.